last night? Green Bay?
I ate duck leg.
There we go. There you go. Duck wing. That's awesome.
I would just start with questions. Robert, when you watched the film of practice, I know you mostly with the defensive side. What did you think about the offensive line's performance?
Really liked the way the offense ran the ball yesterday. Obviously, we've got to get more consistent in a pass protection standpoint. Because when the protection's there, we feel like we've got 4 really good quarterbacks that can get the ball, and we got receivers that can win one-on-ones. And they're working through all the different protection schemes that we have and the different techniques, and they're getting a lot better. And it's something that we got to continue to improve on.
Will, I know a lot of the pressure seemed to come from the outside, but when Elijah gets back on that front and he's next to Mekhi, will that help at all?
I think just in general of all of it, just the stoutness and, having Vera Tucker in there, and, he is a talented young man. But we also got faith in Feeney. We got faith in GBR and the different guys that are there. It's when they execute their technique and they do and they communicate. It's the front 5 that's out there now is really, really darn good. And so it's just a matter of continuing to work, continuing to communicate, continuing to trust your technique, and the results will come.
Obviously, there was a lot of pressure around Zach Wilson yesterday. So how do you think he handled that pressure that was around him?
I thought he did a good job. There's always going to be pressure. I mean, the NFL, there's you literally have one hitch to get rid of the football. Otherwise, you're going to get hit. That's league wide. And there's always going to be traffic around his feet. And you're going to have the best O-lines in the league. You're still going to get traffic in and around the quarterback. But Zach's got to learn to play within the rhythm of to execute within the rhythm of the play, get the ball in and out of his hands as quickly as possible, because he can alleviate some of the pressure of the offensive line by being decisive and being quick with his decision making. But either way, I thought he did a really nice job. There was a couple of things that, from a timing standpoint, that they've been clicking on all cylinders during camp, and yesterday we're off a little bit. Maybe it was a little bit of nerves, but he made some really good throws. I thought he did a really nice job in the 2-minute drive. Could have been a lot better the result could have been a lot better, but we thought he was fantastic in that drill. But I thought he did a good job.
We saw what he could do off schedule in college, and that's kind of what made him the number 2 pick in the draft. A lot of it. Training camp's kind of the ultimate on schedule environment. How do you kind of balance that with him, wanting him to run the play the way it's drawn in the book, but also knowing he could do some things?
No, it's a great question, and he had a couple where he got out of the pocket yesterday, and one thing that he's learning when he does get out of the pocket, that it is in college the ball travels faster than the man, but in the NFL the man travels faster than the ball. So he's realizing that after a few practices. He's like, man, it feels different, and it's like, yeah, it does feel different, because it is different. But right now it's a matter of him really grasping the offense. But I think naturally, and I bet you he'll answer this the same way, he is deliberately trying to stay in the pocket to go through his things, to go through his reads. He feels the pocket. He knows what's happening, and he's got good rhythm. He can do all that stuff. So his ability to get out of the pocket, I think, will just be a natural transition. But again, he showed a couple yesterday, and I think as he gets more and more comfortable with the offense, he'll start improvising.
You mentioned the run game before. Do you think those guys in the backfield are feeding off each other right now?
I think the entire team feeds off it. One of the biggest unspoken things that no one really, unless you're really digging in on tape, our receivers are blocking their tails off. They're digging out safeties. They're looking for corners. They're looking for middle third players. They're cracking linebackers. I mean, they are absolutely grinding in the run game, and they're the ones that spring the big ones. The O-line will open up that first level. It's that second, third level that gets sprung by the receivers. And I think when you see the O-line blocking getting a good double team on the backside, and where that ball rolls back, and you see the strain that they're showing in the run game, the receivers feel like, oh my God, this ball's going to get to me. Like, that's my play to make now, and I think it's contagious all the way around.
One player we haven't talked too much about, but he seems to be flashing a decent amount is P. Ryan.
Yeah.
What does he kind of bring to that backfield? And I mean, a lot of these other guys are one cut, quick twitch. He seems to be more of that physical presence.
Yeah, he's the biggest of the backs. He's got the ability to violently cut and get downhill also, but he's starting to take to and trying to create that identity that we all think he can be, in terms of just being that power back, that bruiser, that dirty yard that we need. But he had one yesterday where he sprung it outside, caught the corner, and basically walked in the end zone. It was in the red zone period. So he's got the ability to go inside and out. And as soon as he establishes himself with that identity that we all think he has, I mean, I think it'll open up a lot of different avenues for him.
That 2019 49ers, I know defensive side of the ball, but that 49ers team was kind of let a lot by the ground, and there were 3 different guys that were routinely in there. Is that ideally how you want this to work, where you got Tevin, you got Mike, you got Ty, and you also have P. Ryan?
Yeah, that's what's, I think, I was talking to Coach LaFleur, Mike, about our backfield. If you look at the roster, I don't know any of these guys. That's people outside. But when we look at it and we watch this tape, I think we've got a pretty dynamic group that complements each other really well. You've got the explosiveness of Coleman. You've got the shiftiness of Michael Carter. You've got the powerful speed from Ty Johnson. And you've got, obviously, that power back ability with P. Ryan. I mean, they're all unique in their own way and together. And even throw Josh Adams in there. He's got tremendous speed on the edge, and it's so it's a really dynamic group, and it's a group that we're excited to continue to work with to see if we can find that niche.
I think it says how the defensive backs played yesterday. There were some plays where they were able to force these completions, other plays where they gave them a touchdown. How do you assess how they looked yesterday?
So with the DBs, I thought all of them battled their butts off. You look at when you're so. New group of receivers that they're going against. And so, like I've always said, there's a game that's happening outside, no different than that's outside the scheme, outside everything else. There's a game within a game that's being played by the receiver and the DB. And there's a feeling out period where they're just, trust your technique, trust the work that you put in. Don't make it street ball. If you make it street ball, these great receivers will kind of embarrass you. And I thought the guys settled in towards the end of practice. They settled in nicely. They got into a rhythm, and I thought, while early it was a little shaky, they finished strong, which it goes back to their mindset and the testament to them. They honed it in, they got back to their technique, and I thought they did a really good job finishing practice yesterday.
We talked earlier in camp with you about you wanting to settle on 3 guys. You're not going to want a rotation on 3 guys in corner. Are you closer to coming to that decision as who those guys are going to be?
It gets closer and closer every day. Obviously, there's still the game. We got 2 practices coming with Philadelphia plus the game, and it's coming closer. It's starting to take shape, and there's guys who continually they're all getting better, but there's a couple guys a few of them actually that are starting to separate. So it's been good and fun to watch.
Did Quinnen do a team yesterday?
Quinnen did not do team. He's getting some team today. Not a lot of it, but so you got to make sure you're paying attention. It's gonna be in and out quick.
What about Elijah?
He's still Indo, just Indo.
I saw you and Aaron Rodgers talking yesterday. How nice was it to catch up with him and just kind of talk with him?
Watching that man in a practice setting, you always see him in a game and you talk to him after practice, but watching him in a practice setting, I thought it was, for me, one of the cooler experiences. I mean, you hear about Hall of Famers and you hear about how their practice habits are, and I just thought the way he communicated with his teammates, the way he talked to his coaches, the respect and regard his teammates have for not only him, but it's reciprocated from him to his teammates. Just a class act, and everything people think of him is exactly right. I mean, he's A1.
You said the plan with Zach is to go maybe a series or 2 more this week. Is that going to be on both sides of the ball? Your expectation?
That's my expectation, for sure.
What does Pinnock have?
Pinnock, he's got I believe it's a bruise to the knee, a slight contusion that's just limiting his ability to execute. So we should get him back here soon.
The third preseason.
James got his
That's okay. Go, no, you got it.
James got his little first Aaron Rodgers nerves out of the way as practice went on yesterday. I think so.
Give me that one more time.
Sorry,
James Morgan. Yeah.
Fanboy.
No, I saw that one flying around. I was like, good media material. But no, I thought he executed well. He did a nice job. All 4 of our quarterbacks do. I think they're all getting a lot better. And James, he's obviously him being home, and he's very excited to be here and play. But it's like we tell him all the time. Tell all of them just make it normal, and everything else will take shape. So he's good.
The third preseason game is traditionally the dress rehearsal where the guys go into the third quarter. With there only being 3 preseason, I mean, are you going to use this as the dress rehearsal? Is the Eagle game going to be?
No, because I still think the timing of it all, you still have the timing of it all still allows for you to have that build-up. Not saying that we will because of the 2 practices that we have with Philadelphia, but you can still have that build-up. The biggest thing that we're trying to accomplish through this preseason is to make sure that we're game ready, 4 quarters of game ready by the time week 1 comes around. And so, having today's practice and just trying to continue to evolve to that is a process.
What's it like for you to be on the practice field with your best friend? You guys are able to have these practices together. What did you learn from watching that practice?
I'm really excited for Matt. Obviously, I mess with him all the time. I know I'm older and I've technically been in the league longer, but he's the one that's 26-6, not me. So so there's always a lot to learn off of from him. He's extremely detailed, and but like I said, I think it's pretty surreal, especially when his mom and dad came out in the field and his kids, and just remembering we're raiding the refrigerator and all that stuff. It feels like yesterday. So it's cool. So.
Did they rate your
James Morgan, we see him a lot. He's on the field long after you guys are done practicing. You see him behind the play when Zach's in there, kind of mimicking the snap. Has his work ethic kind of jumped out to you?
Oh yeah, no, we see him all the time, and he is relentless. He's absolutely going for it, and he is getting better. And it's just a matter of when he gets those opportunities, especially under the lights and preseason action and all that stuff, to take advantage of it, not make it any bigger. I mean, you're putting in, and the message for James is you're putting in all that work, you're putting in all that time. The game is supposed to be easy. I mean, he's making it so hard during the week because of how hard he's working, that the game is supposed to be easy. So just put your guard down, just let it flow, just trust what you've been doing, and I think he's getting to that point. So we're excited to see him execute on Saturday.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. I didn't have anything.